Hi and welcome on to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. I'm joined today by my man, Mr. C Unit himself, Curtis Shaw from Curtis Shaw TV. You know he specialises in transfers on his channel as well. He's been on the tour with us, and it's the last day of the tour. Of course, the game last night, very impressive by Arsenal. Putting 5 past Barcelona, should have been more.
Yeah.
Missed the penalty, had other chances. Really, really impressive. And 3 players really, that stood out in the game. One of them was a transfer that we made last January, and 2 of them transfers that we've made this summer. Trossard, Leandro Trossard, who is starting to look like an absolute snip. He tore Barcelona to shreds last night, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was excellent.
Yeah, he was that good. Like when I saw the starting lineup, I'm thinking, oh no, Martinelli, and I love Martinelli. But Trossard, I think that's the best performance I've seen from him in an Arsenal shirt. That was outstanding the way he played. He got man of the match. His close ball control and his ability to shoot with both feet. I mean, I think there was one where he just drilled it through the defender's legs into the bottom corner. I just thought, he was absolutely brilliant. Like you said, for 25 million in a market that definitely lacks value at the moment, when you see some of the numbers that are going, I think that's an absolute bargain.
And it just goes to show you in transfers that sometimes your plan B.
Yeah.
I mean, we all wanted Mudryk and stuff like that, but he was the plan B.
Yeah.
And the plan B is working out brilliantly at the moment because we, like you said, for 25 million, saved a lot of money by not getting Mudryk, allowed us to have more freedom to spend this summer, and he's been an absolute snip. 2 other new signings, Kai Havertz getting on the score sheet, and again, Jurrien Timber showing his versatility, playing at left back this time and looking excellent.
Yeah, Timber is just beast mode, isn't he? Like, he's so aggressive. I mean, he played against Rafinha last night, who we've been linked with, and he is a quality player.
Yeah.
And he just pocketed him. He's so aggressive, he gets tight to you, he uses his body well. What I love about him, once he wins it, his decision making, like he'll drive into midfield, he can pick a pass. I mean, you were saying there off camera, we haven't actually seen him in his natural position yet, which is centre back. We've seen him at right back, at left back. I mean, he could be one of the bargains of the summer. And then, I mean, Havertz, we've had a bit of a laugh and a joke off camera because I've been quite harsh on him. But last night I was very impressed with him. I mean, Araujo, that tackle, what he put on him, that's possibly a red card challenge on him. And you know what? He got up and he worked hard and he put a shift in as well, which is what I wanted to see. And then he gets a goal at the back post. So, that's how you've got to answer when people are questioning you. So, I was really pleased for him because we all want it to work out.
Yep.
And that's the way to do it, score goals and play well.
Now, you was down pitch side, you had a little chat with Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Declan Rice, of course, the other signing, he said to you, well, tell everybody what he said to you.
Well, first of all, was like, how come you're not playing? He said he got a kick in training and he had a sore calf, so he'd only be out for a few days, so he'd be available for the Monaco game. I was like, listen, man, I'm glad you chose Arsenal, man. He said, yeah, I love it here already, man. So he looked really happy to be here. And yeah, it was great being pitch side, seeing it from there, but you could tell the smile on his face. He was genuinely like, yeah, I love it here already. I feel settled. So it's great to see him.
Brilliant. And Mikel Arteta in his press conference afterwards saying that the current squad is unsustainable. There's too many players. I mean, at one time in that game, there was a bit of a delay to the kickoff, and there must have been about 40 players warming up on the pitch for Arsenal. And you looked on that and you said, yeah, there's a lot of players that need to go. And I think he's hinting by saying the current squad is unsustainable, that there are going to be a lot of outgoings at Arsenal. One of them, of course, following Balogun, didn't feature at all in the game yesterday. They said that he had a slight knock to his a slight foot injury, so that's why he didn't play. Remember, he was training away from the squad. But for me, he's definitely leaving. He hasn't played on this tour. Remember, normally if he would have featured a lot on a tour like this because he's an American international. He's just burst into the USA team. He's the main guy up front now as a striker. For him to come here and not play shows you that he's leaving, isn't it? And there's still the rumours about Inter Milan. Inter Milan said to be readying a bid to try and get him. Arsenal looking for anything from around 40 to 50 million pounds for him. For you, is he definitely going?
I think he is. I think, like you said, American international in America, all the fans wanted to see him, and he hasn't hardly played. I think even the injury, sometimes when a player's on the verge of a move, they'll say, "I'll just say he's injured," just to keep people quiet. Doesn't want to train too hard. I think they're probably in negotiations with Inter behind closed doors, and they're just trying to keep him fresh. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because part of me thinks a young striker that's banged in goals, I'd love to see him get an opportunity here, to be honest. But then on the flip side, he wants first-team football. You look at the way Jesus played last night. I mean, that is a level. He was fantastic last night. And we have spent over 200 million, so the club are going to want to recoup some money.
Yep.
So I would like to think they would put some good clauses in that deal. Maybe a buyback clause, maybe a good sell-on clause. Be a little bit creative with the deal, but Inter's a great move for him as well. That's a massive club, Champions League final.
Other teams in Italy interested in him as well. You know what I mean? So it could be a big move for him. And I personally think he'll go. Yeah. Basically Arsenal can get 40, 50 million pound for a player that didn't even feature in their squad last year.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's going to be going. However, a player that looks like he's definitely staying, and this is according to Fabrizio Romano, who claims that Thomas Partey is going to be staying at Arsenal. Again, he looked very impressive last night. He's looked good on this tour. And Romano claiming that unless a ridiculous offer comes in for Thomas Partey, Arsenal have no plans in selling him. Me and you were at the press conference where Mikel Arteta was questioned by that journalist from Ghana, who, by the way, that journalist was brilliant, from Ghana. He put it straight on Mikel Arteta. He says, Ghana wants to know what's happening with Thomas Partey, and Arteta said he's staying, and it does start to look now that he's going to stay.
When he was being linked with a move, I was like, this guy is our best midfielder. You're supposed to add Declan Rice to a Thomas Partey. You don't want one going in and one going out. So for me, it's imperative. You look at the way he played last night, man. He's just an absolute beast. He's calm on the ball, good in possession. I just think he's a brilliant player, and I'm so glad he's staying. We have to build around players like that and add to it. So, hopefully he's settled now and staying.
Okay. A player that played last night as well, actually scored in the game, scored against Arsenal, is Ferran Torres. Now, he's been very heavily linked with Arsenal. Of course, he played under Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta was number 2 at Man City. When Ferran Torres was there, he got the big move to City. Didn't work out for him. Has moved to Barcelona. It's been a bit, he's not been, the main starter for the team. But listen, he looked quite sharp last night, got a goal. Mikel Arteta said to really like him, would like to bring him in possibly. But he's come out and said that, he's focused only on Barcelona and he doesn't want to leave. Even though there's been rumours suggesting they would sell him if they got the right price.
Yeah. Torres, for me, I'm not overly convinced by him. He came to City. I always felt he was a little bit lightweight. He has got a goal in him. He can finish. But when Barcelona sell Spanish players who are a good age, I think that's a red flag because they like to keep Spanish players. He's only like early, mid-20s. And he's going to want regular first-team football. You're on Barcelona's bench. To me, if he comes to Arsenal, he's only sitting on our bench because I don't believe he's better than Martinelli. I don't believe he's better than Saka.
He plays more on the left-hand side anyway.
Yeah, so we've got Trossard there, Martinelli, Smith Rowe can play there. Not for me. Listen, if we brought him in on loan, for example, as a squad player, it's not the end of the world. He offers depth, but I wouldn't be spending big money on him.
Especially when you've got a player like Trossard doing what he did last night as well.
Yeah.
Sport Witness claim that representatives of Albert Sambi Lokonga have been talking to Roma about a possible move. Roma, of course, have been trying to sign Renato Sanchez from PSG, but they're looking at Lokonga as an alternative. He's also been linked with a move to Burnley, didn't come on the tour. Looks like another player that Arsenal definitely want to move on.
Yeah.
But, Roma would be a good move for him.
Yeah, and Mourinho, he's not going to mess about, is he? So it'd be sink or swim for him there. But, with Sambi, I think we can see his future lies elsewhere at the moment. Listen, you never know. If he gets a good loan move somewhere, there's obviously talent there. He just needs to develop, doesn't he? He's not going to develop enough at Arsenal because he isn't going to get the football. So I think Roma would be a good move for him. You know, Mourinho, and they've got experienced players there like Matic and Dybala. So I think that'd be a good move for him. Develop him for a year, see where he is. You either sell him at the end of that year or bring him back. Is it a loan move?
Well, they're talking about possible permanent move.
Well, yeah, even if it's a permanent, I think would be a good move for him and for Arsenal anyway. We're going to have to sell players, like Arteta said. So.
Unsustainable, as Mikel Arteta said.
Yeah.
One of the positions where, you know, when you look at that Arsenal team at the moment, you think, yeah, we could do some cover on, is that right-sided position, right wing, where, of course, the main guy is Bukayo Saka, who again was excellent last night, scored. He did miss a penalty, but he was excellent. He's been excellent on the whole trip. Every time the ball goes out to him, he's a threat. He's turning into a superstar player. You saw the reception he got last night at that unbelievable SoFi Stadium. But there's rumours again today. Now, this rumour's been around a lot, all regarding Mohamed Kudus, who, of course, he could come in on that right-hand side, the Ghanaian who plays for Ajax, still young, a really, really top talented player. Now, Football Transfers, they claim today that he'd rather join Arsenal than join Chelsea. Chelsea seem to be the team that are ahead in the deal. They've, you know, already sort of, there's reports that they've already made a bid for him. Nothing's really happened on it yet. There's been no sort of movement from Arsenal on Kudus. Manchester United as well. You know, of course, he used to play under Eric Ten Hag, not Mohamed Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag, right? But Kudus apparently saying that he would rather move to Arsenal than Chelsea. Should we get this guy?
I think he's a very good player. Obviously, we've just signed Timber from Ajax, so there's some sort of connection between the clubs. Thomas Partey, I believe, is captain of Ghana as well, so obviously he'll have a relationship with him. I do think we need to add on that right-hand side because we saw last season with Saka, at times he looked burnt out and didn't really have a direct replacement on that right. Arteta said in a lot of the press conferences we're still open to doing more business. I think if we can get a few out, reduce the wage bill, we then might go for one or two. I think he'd be an excellent
They have to move fast on this one, though.
Yeah, because
Chelsea are really pressing on this one. As I said, you know, Arsenal all of a sudden have become a very attractive place to be. They've been great football. We've seen their magnificent support they've got worldwide. Declan Rice has been blown away by it. And, of course, one of the big things for footballers, we're in the Champions League and Chelsea are not.
So listen, it's brilliant that players are now saying, I want to go to Arsenal over Chelsea. I want to, you know, we're a club that players want to come to now. And I'm not being funny. I mean, you said it in your press conference. We out-Barcelona'd Barcelona. You look at the football we played last night. At times they couldn't live with us. So if you're a young player coming up, you're thinking, I want to go in that team. I'm going to improve. It looks exciting to play. And so, like you said, the only thing is we're going to have to move fast because if Chelsea put that offer down and it gets accepted, it may be a case of he has to go to Chelsea. So if Arsenal want him, I'd say get the money on the table.
Yep, we'll see how that one develops out, but he prefers a move to Arsenal. And finally, Botello. Know a lot about this kid, Botello?
Nah, I've done what everyone's
Seen him play?
done. I've been on YouTube. What's this brother like? He's the new Ronaldinho. He's the new Kaká, you know? One of them ones.
Youngster plays for Gremio. There's been a lot of rumours saying that, listen, Arsenal could complete the signing of him. You know, there was a story yesterday, it could be done by the end of this week. £7 to £8 million, midfield player.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about him either. This is another Martinelli type situation, really. Haven't got a clue, but he's a midfielder, said to be really, really talented. 23. So I look on it and I think, can't be a player that they're going to bring in and just loan out. Surely, if he's 23, that sort of age, you want a player to come right in, don't you, immediately? Yeah. But then the other thing is he's not really, I don't know what his status would be as regarding getting a full visa.
Yeah.
He's not a full Brazilian international. But they got the Marquinhos one done and he could, you know, play. You think this one going to happen, Botello?
Yeah, I think it will happen. I was saying before, I don't mind Arsenal trying to find gems from Brazil, because every now and then you find a Martinelli, you find a Vinicius Junior or something like that. You always see Madrid tap into that market of young Brazilians. Like you said, 23, he's a bit older. He must have gone under the radar a little bit. But Edu, he worked with the Brazilian national team and the under-21, so know a lot of players over there. Like you said, the work permit is saying it might be difficult to get, but you can apply for these things and get special dispensation. So listen, I'm all for it. I don't know a lot about him. I've done the YouTube scouting report. Let's get him in and see what he's about.
Can also significantly, as well as playing sort of in that midfield as an attacking midfielder, can also play on that right hand side as well. Okay, yeah. So could that be that sort of player that could come in to sort of support Saka?
Yeah.
But then that's a big role for a player coming in. But like you said, listen, we always see all these other teams like your Brightons bringing in these gems that we all then say, well, why didn't we try and get a player like that? Maybe this Botello could be a player like that.
I mean, it's a Botello of a risk. It's been a long 10 days, people.
Yeah, on that, I think it's time to end the show. Right? Before he drops any more of those, right?
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Right, listen, no, it has been great. This is actually our last day, our last morning, actually here in Los Angeles. It's been absolutely brilliant here. The fans yesterday, 70,000 in the stadium. It's been brilliant everywhere here in the US. Started off in Washington, absolutely amazing turnout there. We put 5 past the MLS All-Stars. Disappointing result against Manchester United, but again, what a turnout, 80,000. Brilliant time in New York and New Jersey. And then here to LA, where it's been fantastic as well. We saw the passion of the fans last night, absolutely brilliant. But now it's time to go home. And listen, Curtis, I want to thank you very, very much.
Pleasure, bro. Thank you for everything you've done on the tour as well.
It's been brilliant. If you want to check out any of the transfer dailies that we've been doing here, it's been fantastic. Check them out. All of our vlogs, etc. But tomorrow it's back to reality. No more poolside on transfer dailies. It's back to the cold. But listen, as usual, we're here every single day, keeping you up to date with all the players that we linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal US. Thank you very much. Goodbye. UK, here we come. Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you...
It's been a long 10 days, bro. Look, man, it's been a long 10 days.